All right, hello everybody and welcome. This is Rewoto Max, and thought I'd do a real quick video about the Annke WZ500. Now this is a 5 megapixel PTZ camera with 20x zoom, and that is 20x optical zoom. What we're looking at is we're looking at the WebUI. I'm currently using Microsoft Edge in Internet Explorer mode. When you bring the WebUI up, it just basically shows this. I've turned on the PTZ control. So it would look normally like this. So I've turned on the PTZ control and the PTZ function. You can change by, and also call, and anyway, tour is a joke, it doesn't work. Auto pan is a joke, it doesn't work. It you can kind of get it to work in a sense, but it doesn't really work. We look here. You have the mainstream, substream, and MJPEG. You click the dot to make the changes. So you want it, and also to view in that format. So when it originally was installed, H.265 was enabled like this. However, it works best for me anyway in H.264. I do have it connected to an NVR, and that's where I record most of the information. This does have motion detection. You set up the grid, you can clear, you drag to, and it does have human detection as well. Human detection, again, you set up a grid, you enable the human detection, you open the human detection filter, and you can change sensitivity. Now, about this camera, let me turn on audio and then turn it back off because it likes to go on when you don't want it on, and last thing you guys want to hear is wind noise in the background. So let's talk about some issues that I've had originally with this camera. Again, this camera is the Annke, A-N-N-K-E, and the model number is WZ500. It is a 5 megapixel 20x zoom. So right now this is at 1x. We will, go here and zoom in. And surprisingly, it actually focused, where at night it normally doesn't want to focus very well. You press the call button and it'll go back to the preset that you want it to go to. This does have, which I don't have really any ability to show you except for click on it. So it does have 255 presets that it's capable of handling. However, I've tried to set them, and anything higher than like 200 doesn't seem to want to set. So I'm not 100% sure what's up with that. But okay, now some of the quirks of this camera. One of the issues that I had with this camera to start out with is I originally set it up to be 10.0.0.22 because I have a second one of these that I started first, and it was at 10.0.0.21. However, this would, even after I set it up in the camera to have a static IP, this after a day or two would go back to 10.0.0.2. I tried to set it in the camera with a static IP at a totally different number, like 10.0.0.202, and it won't even go to that address at all. So I put it back to 22. It would stay there for a day or two. I would come in and it would be missing out of Blue Iris and go to 10.0.022. It would say it failed to connect. Nothing was there. I'd put in 10.0.0.2 and lo and behold, it would be there. I tried for almost a month and everything that I tried failed. I tried not only in the camera, but I also tried inside of my actual router, where I have multiple cameras set up. And originally, the reason why 2 was an issue for me is because 2 I had set up on an Amcrest AD110 doorbell camera that had a static IP through my router at 10.0.0.2. So, yeah, sometimes this camera would basically push out the doorbell camera and it would just take over the .2 IP address and the doorbell camera would be offline. But again, I said this was originally offline, but that was offline my Blue Iris or the NVR at the 10.0.0.22 that I had them set up for. Okay. Also, after some back and forth with Annke support, had some issues with many other things. I was really upset with this camera. And as you see in this camera view, there is no time or date. And originally when it was set up, it was there. I believe, and this is an hypothesis, this is a theory, I believe with my back and forth with them, they sent some type of command to my camera that has made the time and date disappear. Now, I do know where it is in the settings. I can re-enable it, but after re-enabling it, it disappears. So something had to force it out, because for almost a month, it was there every single day. And the reason that this is prevalent is because the time and date would always change every time it would reboot. So now let's talk about rebooting. Rebooting, this camera likes to reboot every night at 1 a.m. It also reboots every day at 1 p.m. And originally I didn't know this because there's nothing in the documentation of such. And so, pardon me, I like to put in, a normal reboot time for my IP cameras. And then I change for, during the day to during the night to make sure that they're all running, smooth. And if they start to, have issues with the micro SD card or, just like your camera, or not camera, but like your computer or, anything that you have running at home, every once in a while, they like to be rebooted, refreshed, made happy. Well, this camera, without any intervention from me, reboots every night at 1 a.m. and every day at 1 p.m. And yeah, doing so during the PM one, it would not wipe out the changes that I would make. But doing it at the AM one, it wiped out the IP and it would wipe out the time. Change it from -5, which is my time zone, to -4, which is not my time zone. And it's not what this camera was originally set up for. The camera was originally set up for, I believe, +8 or -8, one of the two. It's 8 in the number, whichever one, if it was plus or minus, I'm not sure anymore. So there's some quirks. Now, another quirk that this camera has is that it isn't using the traditional Annke Vision app on your phone. And with that, let's go ahead and bring up the phone app. And this is traditionally what the phone app looks like when you bring it up. And so, oh, I take that back. I had it on the direction tab. This is what it looks like when you originally bring it up. Okay. So you click this, and this is the features. And some of the features, it has motion detection, motion tracking. So if somebody walks in front of it, it'll actually track them. Then the anti-flicker in night mode. In night mode, you can change to what we have right here. Currently I have it set on auto. And auto, as you see with the little A, auto is designed for IR at night until it receives motion, and then it'll actually turn on the white light. However, you can click color and it'll come on and it'll show a beautiful color picture. And it works well. However, one of the downsides also of this camera is that this camera likes to, how can I say, be full brightness. Now, this wasn't here before. Oh, so this is so you can actually switch it on and switch it off. Interesting. Wow. Okay. That's the first time I'm seeing that button. However, I'm not sure about that. But back to smart mode. Interesting. So there's a way to set up a scheduling. Don't know about that. This is something new. At least maybe it was there and I just didn't see it. All right. So let's look at the direction. And in the directions, we have, well, zoom in. Zoom out. Okay. Works pretty good. Pan right. Pan left. And one of the quirks about this that is not documented is you set up a preset at preset 1. It will auto return to that preset, which is a good thing. You want to, guard position, I think, in theory. And so I won't do anything for a few seconds, but after 30 seconds, it will return back to what you have set up as your preset 1. However, as you see here, there's nothing here that says how to get to any of the other presets. And as I showed, you have the ability to set up 255 presets. I personally haven't been able to set up 255 presets or in the presets higher than like 200. Pardon me. So I'm not exactly sure what's up with that. Now, something that I learned, and I've had this camera for a little while now, but I haven't actually looked at the app for a while. And when I originally clicked on site, I didn't know what it was, and it wasn't very intuitive. And all it said the first time I clicked on it was, you don't have any sites connected or something. And I was like, okay, I understand. Maybe, I thought maybe it was like for um, something other than what it's actually designed for. And that is presets. So we click here, and this gives us, as I named it, home and door. I click door. This rotates around, and it shows the door. And after 30 seconds, like I said, this will return home. Or you click home, and it'll go home. So in that aspect, and that's one of the reasons I'm making this video, is because I want to be able to show other people that have the Anke, that is ANKE, model number WZ500, which is a 5 megapixel 20x zoom, that's optical zoom, PTZ camera. So this does not do a full 360. It does around 355. And it does not do a full 90 degree, even though it says it does. But it does well enough. Now, one of the downsides to this is when you set up a PTZ function in the WebUI, you do not have access to that preset in the actual app. In order to set up presets, you have to add. So what we'll do is we'll go to and again, so it's not all that easy, but we'll go and look at another bird feeder that's empty. So there's a bird feeder right there, of course. And if you wanted to add that, click here, put in a name, and confirm the name. And now we have a third one. Click home, and it goes home. Click the feeder, and it goes back to the feeder. And yes, this is another PTZ camera. Also a 20x zoom. However, it's a 2 megapixel, where this one that we're dealing with right now is a 5 megapixel. And the reason that I originally installed it here was because I was going to replace this with the 5 megapixel. All right, see, I didn't say to go home, but after 30 seconds, it returned home on its own. All right, so if you click the phone button here, it actually will do two-way talk. You can talk into it. It's very clear. And they can talk to you. And again, it's very clear. If you want to see, more things like, human detected, as you see, there's no human. Human detected, no human. Human detect. I mean, that's one of the other downfalls of this is it detects humans, even though there's no humans. It'll say a skunk is a human when, oops, that was a human. But, all right, so, yeah. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Remoto Max. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to hit me up in the comments below, and I will try to answer any questions that you have. And if you want to see more about things with this camera, I will try to do so. Until next time, be safe.